Welcome to Automation Hunter, the podcast for entrepreneurs and businesses ready to scale smarter. In this series, Apps, Hacks, and Bounties, your host, Will Christensen, dives into game-changing tools and strategies alongside special guests, sharing insights to boost productivity and solve real business challenges. Ready to innovate? Let's dive in.
I help software companies with everything from market and customer research, all the way through prioritizing roadmaps, putting roadmaps together, and then ultimately getting to the point of execution so we can help companies with scale their offering, achieve product market fit, and ultimately grow their product. So I've been doing this for close to 20 years and on my own for, I guess, approaching now 2 years. So it's been a wild ride.
That's awesome. Awesome. Tell us about an app that you've come across over the last year that you feel like is just, wow, this is really upskilling my ability to grow and learn and all of the above.
That's a big question. I think with AI and its growth,
the speed at which new apps are coming to the world has increased probably by 100 to 1,000 times. And that's twofold. One, people can add AI, just add a wrapper on top of AI, and they've got a new app. Boom. And I've also seen a lot of people who weren't coders before writing apps and launching something new in the marketplace of the SaaS world. It's very interesting right now.
It is. It's mind-blowing at how quickly things are coming and going. But the one that comes to mind right now, so I've done a lot of deep diving and going down the AI rabbit hole for the better part of a year and a half now. And I've come across lots of different new apps, but I think the one that most recently come to mind for me is a site called Gamma. And so the use case for me on this one is that I am working with a partner of mine, and we're actually going to be creating a webinar. And so we've been going back and forth in Google Slides for a while on just trying to get the presentation together, the flows there, the content's there, and the design of it though is kind of mediocre. And so I ran across Gamma, and
it's GAMMA.app. So Gamma.app.
Yes. And signed up for it. And my initial kind of run through with loading up, and it's pretty slick in the way because you can bring in PowerPoint presentations, you can do Google Slides, you can drop content in just as far as like pure copy, and it will work whichever kind of method you want to do. But the really interesting thing was when I first put it in, I just did a test run on a free account, and the designs that came out, I was actually pretty impressed. And so I was like, okay, I'll go to the paid version of it because I think your limit for that is 10 or 12 slides for your initial free trial. And the webinar slides were much larger than that. So did the paid version of it and dropped in the full slide presentation. And the results were pretty wild in a way that, wild good, but in a way that within, I would say, less than probably 90 seconds, it had put just roughly about 30 slides together. And I think what surprised me the most on it was not so much that the designs and the color palette and everything else were really good. And you can make all the adjustments in terms of like the themes and everything else, which I think is pretty standard. But what I liked most about it was it not only read the content that I had in the slides, but it also took some of the content that was in the speaker notes, and it started incorporating it into the slides too. So it actually kind of updated my content as it went and started creating all the slides. And by far and large, it was very good. I didn't keep everything, but in today's AI world, that's I think the expectation as well. But I think in the end, the design looked really good, but the content, some of the improvements were fantastic as well. I think the only thing, to be fair, that I wasn't super thrilled about were the images. Some were really good, and some were very far off.
Again,
I think AI images, even in today's world, with it improving kind of day by day, there's still a lot to be desired in some of those.
The six-fingered man comes into a lot of my images when I play that game. I just want to toss out something. So when I do a presentation, I've actually learned to go to Gamma after I go. So first I go to like creative brainstorming mode, and I turn on advanced voice mode in ChatGPT, like the paid version of the app, and I just talk to it for a half an hour. I'm building this presentation, and here's the target market, and all of that kind of stuff. And then I usually incorporate, like, tell me about the person in the world who you think would be best at building a PowerPoint presentation for this sort of group. Okay, cool. Pretend you're him. Let's create this presentation. And first I want you to just do the outline, just high level bullet points, slide titles. And I work through the slide titles verbally, because I'm a verbal processor. I don't write as much as I talk. After I've nailed down that, I say, cool, now give me some bullet points. And it goes down and gives me some bullet points. Like, cool, now give me some suggested images, like what images would go in there. Okay, cool. Now give me all of that again in just one, outline the whole presentation. Then I take that and I go to, there's a $200 a month version of ChatGPT.
Yep.
They have an O1 Pro mode. O1 Pro is the coolest thing I've seen so far. You paste in like that description that you gave, or you take what you got out of ChatGPT Advanced Voice Mode, you put that into Pro mode, and it takes about 5 minutes to process. And you say something like, improve upon and give me feedback on this presentation so that I can make it better than it already is. And it will think through that process. And what I get out of that, I don't usually have to change a word. Like it's like freaking amazing. Then I take that and hand it to Gamma, because Gamma's good at making the slides pop out and connect all of those different dots. That's what I usually do, is something of that nature. I also use Canva for my slide creation, and I have a team member who's really fast at that. And so I actually haven't used Gamma in several months now, because I've got this team member and I do all that work in ChatGPT, hand it to him, and the slides I'm getting back are awesome. And he's going through and we're using Canva to slap those together.
Interesting. Yeah, that's good to know. I have not tried the voice part of ChatGPT, so it sounds like that should be an experiment for me coming up this weekend. I think some free time.
Yeah, when you're driving in the car. So basically, it's made driving in the car for me. So like for example, my business coach said, Will, I want you to map out the next 5 years of your life. Like, what are you going to do? What's going to be your big, hairy, audacious goal? And then work backwards. So if you want to make $10 million, how big does your company need to be in order for you to sell it or to get distributions that equal that $10 million? And like, dream up, what does the roadmap actually look like? And then get that down to how many more apprentices do you need to place each month to hit that goal, right? Like we're trying to go all the way back down. And that's an exercise that I have a hard time getting started on, that sort of exercise. Like, it's like, man, it's going to take me forever. But if I'm driving down the car in the road anyway, like I can say, okay, here's the exercise my business coach wants me to run through. Let's go through that together. And I found that the AI is good enough to keep the conversation flowing, that it's kind of like a whiteboard for my mind, in that it's a conversation. I can tell it, I don't really love that idea. Give me 3 or 4 other ideas about how to handle this situation. It'll feedback, oh, I like that one. I like that one. Let's iterate on that. And so it's pretty powerful in terms of helping you verbally process. Yeah,
it almost sounds like you could take that one step further. In a product idea would be kind of an AI dream board, right? With the AI dream board.
So like you basically attach the voice mode to almost like a Miro board kind of situation, where like you just talk to it. Anytime you want to talk to Dreamboard, there's an interesting product idea right there.
Are you familiar with like dream boards? And like, once a year, a lot of people will, and I started doing it this past year too, of like, hey, visualize what your life could look like and the things you want to do. So like, hey,
I'm sure that's what my business coach is going to do next. Now that I've actually dreamed it all up, because I spent all that time, I have it down to how much money do I want to be making in 5 years, and what's my family monthly budget, and where's every single dollar going of that ginormous fun. We've all got that pie in the sky number we want in 5 years. Where's every single dollar going to? All across the board. And so, yeah, I think that dream board's in my future.
All right, cool. Let's collaborate on making that happen.
Yeah. All right. So, Jonathan, next question. Tell me about a hack you've used to move your business along.
Sure. So a lot of what I do on the product management space, it kind of bleeds into the UX research side.
Okay.
And that for me is on purpose. I come to my approach with product management is very design focused, research focused, customer focused, and user focused. So,
okay.
And I'm a firm believer that in order to be successful in product and have a successful product out in the market, is that you have to really understand your user and your customer. And that means having conversations with them a lot. constantly, continuously. And it's not just at the beginning, which is a very, very important step in kind of the product lifecycle, but it's also throughout the entire build when you put the product to market, while you're nurturing the product once after market, all of that you have to continue to have conversations with people. And so all those conversations lead to a lot of data. And previously to really AI in general, that process was very cumbersome. So if you
Painful.
Yeah. So if
cumbersome is one word to use. I would use the word painful.
And very time consuming. And so I think I'll give a good example where if I do, let's say for a kind of design and research sprint, let's say 10 conversations, 10 interviews.
Yeah.
In the past, a lot of that would be recording the conversation, taking notes while I'm having that conversation with someone, and
going back, synthesizing those notes, trying to compare them to all of the other conversations to figure out exactly. So I don't think I've ever told you I did the product manager thing for a while. So I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. So what do you do now?
So this goes back well over a year, and I had gone through a research sprint and came to that stopping point of like, all right, well, my next step is now to synthesize and analyze all this data so I can come up with some conclusions and best practices and recommendations and kind of the final report. And I was like, I wonder if ChatGPT could handle this. And it was kind of a one-off thought. And I was like, I'm going to explore this real quick. And I came across a YouTube video from a PhD fellow who is a researcher, and he did a step-by-step of how to basically take all the transcripts, drop them in ChatGPT, get all the information synthesized and down to like keywords and themes. And
okay, Jonathan, I need you to find that YouTube video, and we're going to put it in the show notes. Such a fantastic hack.
Yes, I will definitely do that because I've watched that thing about 4 or 5 times now. But
I believe it. Please find that for me and send it my way.
Okay, for sure. But what actually happened was and this is like going back to a hack. The biggest time sink one that was with that synthesis and analysis phase for 10 interviews would probably take me at least 2 weeks to get through all of that and do it well. And that's with a lot of work going on at the same point in time, but about 2 weeks to get through that and then start getting the report together. When I did those 10 interviews that first time, and this was me just not kind of fumbling my way through it and getting an understanding of it, it took me 8 hours. Now I can do pretty much all of the interviews. Actually, the interview part of the process is the longest part now, which is wild because I can get all the transcripts, dump them in the ChatGPT, have them run the analysis, and I have all the prompts now to go that helps with kind of streamlining that process as well. And it takes about an hour. And it's just crazy how quickly it is. Now, I will say, again, like with AI, it's not perfect, and you do need to go back and double check the work on it.
Yeah.
And so with a lot of because I will ask for quotes and I will ask for the themes and the keywords.
Yep.
And so I will go through and I will go back into the transcripts. And
have you tried O1 Pro mode? Are you on the $200 a month plan yet?
No, I'm not.
I challenge you to go try that for a month and go put that through O1 Pro and just report back to us on how much better it is. Okay. If it is, right? Maybe the version, maybe there isn't that much of a difference. My experience, so like I had it, and we're going to run out of time here, so I do want to get to the bounty section of our episode. We're going to do a follow-up episode for the bounty, and then if we have a bounty, we're going to do a follow-up episode on that bounty. But what I want to toss out here is this. Yesterday, I had it write a leprechaun-themed scavenger hunt for my house, and we outlined where I hid all of the green coins, and I kid you not, the clues were vague enough that they weren't immediately recognizable. They were clever. I was like, this is better than I would write it. This is way, like, if I had spent 2 hours making this, it would be close to this good. Like wow. It was mind-numbing. And all I did was give it the place of each coin, and I told it I want it to go upstairs, downstairs, upstairs, downstairs. Here's all the places that are hidden in each room. And I told it exactly what, like, it's hidden underneath the mouse at the computer desk. And it gave very vague yet cute hints about wherever all it was. My kids did it for half an hour. Wow. I was like, this is amazing. So I know that ChatGPT 4, like the 4.0, would not have been able to do it with that level of accuracy because I've seen some of the, what I got back and forth when I was just doing the voice mode, because that's 4.0. O1 Pro blew me away. So I challenge you to go check that. And on our next bounty episode, we'll start it with was that any different?
Cool.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate your time today. Well, that's it for our quick episode here, and excited for the follow-up episodes.
Thanks. Appreciate your time. Thanks for having me.